Okay, Makeup Forever powder. I don't, this is the HD powder. I don't use this like all over the place. I use this very sparingly, only where it needs moisture with the wig. That's it. It's not a setting powder. It's not one of these things like Laura Mercier has the setting powder where you can do the full makeup and then go in there and everything's blotted on, it feels great. This is going to give you a mask and flash if you do something too much. You can even see it in person if you do something too much. I literally take a brush like this, tap it off, and then literally close your eyes here. I'll put a little bit over the eyelid before I work on it because there's always that moisture there on the eyelid, so that helps to wick it away. If I'm doing a photo shoot, anything like, let's say you got your brides coming in for a photo shoot beforehand and you're not like worried about a longevity thing, you just want it to look great for pictures, go ahead and just, you can put it a little bit like right on here, right down the sides of the nose, and right there. And that's literally all I put powder on. And the reason is because I want this to have its natural glow. I want the glow to come on the sides of the cheeks and everything. I don't want the glow to come here because that's where it looks sweaty. When you start getting that shine right, that shine right in here. So every time I'm doing powder, I'm paying attention to right here, maybe right here, even though I have a built-in highlight sometimes right down the side of the nose. I'll still put a little bit of a powder there so it's not actually shiny. And maybe like right above the lip. Nobody wants a sweaty upper lip. So. Okay. So she's still got her glowing. The other thing that I like to do is I do stains a lot with brides. By stains, I mean Becca Beach tints. They have a little bit of a stain. Stila Convertibles, I really like, and I wish I had my color, but I use this color a lot, and it looks crazy, but I use it with their peachier color, not this one. But they have one that's more of like a peachy nude color. You mix these two together, you can literally do almost like 90% of America's makeup because it's got, or even if you just add a little bit more of this, it has more pop. If you put a little bit more of the other one, it has more subtle, subtleness. So between everybody, you can have some color on the skin between those two products. I like to do stains creams when the skin still has the wetness from the foundation on it. It's not that it's wet, but it has more slip to it. So let me scrape a little bit of this off. And what color is it? This, I don't know. Fuchsia.
And that's the Stila what? What is it?
Stila Convertibles. Oh, I put that on. No, I don't. This is the rose. Okay, this is pretty deep, but it's okay. I use the back of my hand a lot. You can use your palette too. I find that I can use the back of my hand a lot because it warms things up and makes things a lot softer for me. The palette just kind of crunches it into two different colors that just don't look right on the sheet. Okay, so I'll do something like this. If you're allowed to, if not, then use the palette. So I'll take my finger again. Whatever I have on there, I'll take my finger. Go ahead and smile for me. Now, the trick of this is to be able to see the cheeks. But don't do it on everybody. If somebody has their cheeks kind of drooping down and you have the smile, guess what's going to happen when they don't smile anymore? It's going to droop right back down. Put it on. You're going to have to create a cheek with somebody with older skin where the skin's down a little bit more. Somebody has like, skin like this that just snaps back in 2 seconds, then you can go ahead and have them smile so you know exactly where to put this, and I'll show you. I won't blend it yet. So. Okay, look around really quick for me. Looks crazy. It's like a little doll. Not even. Okay. But when I blend it out, I blend it out this way and a tiny bit up. I don't want to go all the way up to the temple. I don't want to come in further here, and I don't want to go down. Again, when you go down, just like we don't do it on any older skin, is because you don't want the cheeks to go down. Everything you want to do has to be with an uplifted feel to it. So when I go out and up. And what I'm also doing, so I'm the one I applied it with, I'm wringing it out, but then I take my clean middle finger and make sure that I'm not getting anything on the inside while I'm going to. So I'm doing this and kind of wiping away anything that might be going a little bit too close in. Do you see the difference in that? It's just a tiny little bit of a shade. But if it feels like the lighting's bad and everything, if you always want to just come up here really quick and check, feel free to, because I know it's kind of hard. Or maybe I should send you around to do that. Let's do the other one. Here, I'll do the other one. I'll kind of just need to walk around. You don't, and it's almost like another, like your fingers are awesome for trying to find out the exact point of this, because you want it a finger width apart from the eyes. You don't want the highlighter ever come right up to the eye. It just doesn't have an attractive look if you're bringing too much light right next to the liner, and somebody's like, what's going on with your eye? So you want to have it a width apart. So just right on the cheekbone, I can feel exactly where her cheekbone is right here. And then right above her eyebrow right there, and I can feel where the temple and that dip is there. That's where I would put cream highlighter. Again, you could stop right there. You can literally go, okay, like a little bit of HD powder to set, not set it, but get some of that moisture since it is all liquid. So get some of that liquid out of there. But otherwise, let's go on to, I use. Oh, and also after the step of any liquids, go ahead and with your HD powder very lightly. Like I said, it's not a setting powder, but we are taking moisture out. And because everything we use so far is cream, I would go in and just lightly brush over it. It's not going to change the look. It's just going to take away any moisture because now I'm going to go in and put powders on. If you don't do this first, or any step to put some kind of translucent powder on before anything else, you will get splotchiness. You will get dragging makeup. So powder or blush will stick here and not want to move because it's all sticking to the liquid makeup. Okay, so I do things in layers specifically for the bride. I'm not saying that the bridesmaids aren't as important, but I want to make sure that the person who's the happiest is going to be the bride because she's the one paying me most of the time. Another thing you should always have is your peachy palette, your peachy pink palette of a light, a medium, and a dark, meaning that you can mix all this together on somebody, you can do just the lights on somebody, you can do just one color. Hardly do I ever use just one of these colors. I'm usually doing the row of, of blushes. Or I found myself that if I put this on and somebody's too dark and it's looking a little bit cakey, I'll just add a touch of this into it and then I'll feel like it's popping the color out more. So it's good just to have a light, medium, dark, pink, and peach. Of course, you can have, you can do your blushes, where you have your darker colors. You can do your whole palette of lighter colors and different things. But that's, again, going to be one of those things that you just go to for a lot of your stuff. Because, you can get very specific with blush or you can just go to what works right away, for a lot of brides. So this, I'm going to do, so for her, because she has a little bit more of a tan, I'm kind of just swirling around. Standing there, you go ahead and smile. I'm just going to start at the cheeks here and work my way up a little bit. I'm not getting into the hollows of anything here. You can put a little contour there if you want. She's got a great face, she doesn't need contour. I'll go ahead and show you what I do anyway, just so you know where to put it. But, when you do the cheeks right here and you have some kind of contour, some kind of highlight, it just all melts together. So don't feel like it's too much just right on the apple of the cheek. And if you ever do feel like it's too much right on the apple of the cheek, you just go back with your beauty blender that you used and literally just bounce really lightly over it. It's also a nice look because it almost just looks like the glow is from within. You always want to have from within, beautiful blushing bride look, the cliche of the lifetime. Blushing bride. Let's do, here. So just like little palette ideas, I have my contour highlight kit. I have the OCC powder brush that I like because it's this huge dome brush. And I feel like with the contour, I can really just get in there really quick. I don't do lined angular contour. I do very soft contour. I don't want anybody to detect it when they're in person. So what I'll do, the Kevin Aquan has this great sculpting powder. And the reason why I like it is because if you'll notice, this compared to all these other ones, it has no red in it. It's very ashy. It actually mimics a shadow on a face. What you'll find a lot of times is if you're using a bronzer as a contour, it becomes orangey on the skin and then not so natural. So you want to look for something that has more of an ash to it.
What color is that?
This is Kevin Aquan's color. It's a sculpting powder, but I don't know the color. Who asked me?
Oh, me.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of it, but it's just called sculpting powder, and usually it's sold with a Candlelight, which is their highlighter.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so. Anyway, so what I do, I will start right in here, like literally the whole outside, right by the temples, right by the ear, and take my whole point of my brush, and literally start doing circles right here. Because the shadows, you want the shadow to come from within. If you just have a cheekbone that's just kind of jutting out in the middle of the face, looks more like Halloween special effects as opposed to this nice, beautiful cheekbone happening. So we started right here, put most of your color concentrate, and then kind of swoop it out. Not swooping it down, not swooping it up, swoop it out and into the skin. So, and when I do it like normally, it's literally not look like much. But one thing that's always going to bring out a contour is when you put a highlight over it too, because that's going to contrast against each other. So, for the highlight, Kevin Kwan also has a really, I wish they were here. I like Accentuate from MAC, but I also like, the Kevin Kwan has more of a sparkle glow to it. Not so much a sparkle. Make sure that you don't have anything that you can actually see glitter in because it's not attractive in pictures. Flash can actually bounce against it and make it look like there's holes in the skin. So make sure that you literally have something that when you put it on your skin, it's just a shimmer, a sheen. I mean, not even a shimmer, a sheen. Like a silky look to it as opposed to dots of glitter in it. A lot of things that dots of glitter in it. Again, just using the rule of thumb with my finger. I'm just putting the same highlight here, down there, and I'll do the other side too.
And that, which color is that?
This is the Kevin Kwan Candlelight.
The candle.
So if she turns, you can see how you're creating like where you don't, photographers may not light it right. They may be in really dark situations where they're going to have a camera on them. You'll always know they have that perfect lighter on their face because you put it there. So you can control your own lighting as a makeup artist. So let's,
Now, for the mother of the bride, let's say grandchild, that's when you just skip highlight.
I skip highlight. I don't really skip it. I'll try to go to something like Accentuate from MAC, the sculpting powder, because it's more like a lighter powder as opposed to an actual sheen. It doesn't have that really bright glowing substance in it. It's just, I use it, it's safe enough that I use it right under the eyes to highlight if I need to. If somebody really has dark circles here, and I've tried everything and I need a little bit more oomph, I need a little bit more oomph, I'll go with Accentuate or Soft Focus, which is a little bit darker from MAC, and that'll work better on older. Okay. Yeah. Orangey copper highlighter. I use that a lot. So number 4, and then the number 2 is the liquid one that I usually use for this guy. Base Atelier. Yeah, for like a month. So I'm going to just go ahead and go back in with this. Now again, this isn't going to work on darker skin tones. Again, I go in with the MAC Studio Fix for everything for darker skin tones and stuff. I will go back in with that. This is probably going to work up until maybe my skin tone, or no, not even darker than mine. Maybe, no, yours is going to be like right on it. Yeah. Maybe around my skin tone or like a little bit darker than mine. That's going to still create a shadow. Everybody else is just going to make it look more like powder. And you even could possibly go ashy on some skin tones, so you don't want to go too,
Have you ever had any problems with doing the pigment design?
I haven't. Yeah. Have you had it?
My mentor has.
Oh, really?
She actually said don't use it, but I haven't.
Oh,
I like it.
really? I like it. I haven't had any problems with it, but I mean, I'm not. Open close, right in the corner of somebody's eye, right here. Everybody always needs a little lift right there. Get right in the corner of someone's eye. Okay. That just pops the eye just a little bit from the inside because that's the deepest part of the face. So you always want to kind of bring it out a little bit, even if it's not with a highlighter, but with like a vanilla shadow, something just to bring a little bit of darkness out. I changed my brush to something that's a little bit fluffier here, and a little more like a dome brush. Very light in weight because I can literally go just right down the tip of her nose. Just do a little highlighter right down the middle, right below the lid. Literally right here, and then maybe just bring it up a little bit now. So I'm gonna. Again, I use the candlelight for a lot of the things, but MAC has Shroom, which is a really pretty color, just to kind of give a little highlight to. It's almost the same type of color, like the candlelight from the one. I'll just use something. Let's do something neutral. Let's let's just say we're gonna give a little bit of a lightness on the lid. A little light on the lid. I'm not going for step by step. Number one, it's gotta be vanilla here. Number two, it's gotta be this here. Which is always a good go-to if you need to do that. Go with vanilla, brown, and
Your shadows are.
I think like one of the go-to can't lose type of makeups you can do, unless of course it is something that flashes. I can't really think what's gonna flash against. I use this color a lot. I'll walk around and kind of show you. In fact, I can just give you guys the name. Mulch. And it's the same mulch again. I feel like you can work really well with the gel liner. Like it's big, it's slit, it has a good slit, and then it sets, and then it's waterproof and sweatproof and all that. You're so high in this chair. Yeah, you're good. We still have that posture. When I do liner, I always start from the inside out. That's in particular looks. Okay, you can do a liner where it's easier and you don't have to have such technical skill to do a wing liner or anything like that. You can go in with a pencil. Let me just show you the easy way to do this really quick. You can go in with a quick pencil. So you take a pencil, any pencil, this is Matt's waterproof pencil. I do waterproof like everything. Get right into the lash line. I'm not doing anything pretty here. It's literally placing it on. It's not a pretty technique at all. Placing it on, putting it right into the lashes, almost like just smoothing it right in. Then taking a brush like this, and I'll pass it around. But very thin dome tip brush. And before it dries, go and close. I use my fingers a lot to kind of spread the lid and make sure that it's not all crinkly and everything, because you really want to make sure you're working in the lash line and not above it and then having a piece of skin in between. This will give even that bride who doesn't want makeup.
And which is your favorite black pencil?
I like the Makeup Forever waterproof one. If it's a pencil.